When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. If he's led to a fight and a duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue will come through when Captain America throws his mighty shield.
So, why do you think the importance of Captain America is actually the symbol, not the man? Because without the man, the symbol would have never existed.
Well, just going into Winter Soldier, Steve Rogers is running around Washington, D.C. Sam Wilson sees this guy running real fast and is like, hey, I want to catch up to him. I want to be like him. They meet up, and Steve Rogers is like, hey, man, you can't catch up to me, but you can try to be like me. Anyway, he follows Steve Rogers into battle unknowingly because of the symbol that Steve Rogers gives off. He's like, hey, man, there's a problem. We need to fix it, and you can trust me because I'm Captain America, and you can trust the symbol that Captain America represents. I represent honor and duty and dignity inside of helping each other out.
Or where do we finally meet Captain America and Falcon? I guess, where do we finally meet Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson actually having a meaningful talk? Where do we meet it?
Was it after the shower? Inside of Sam Wilson's house.
Did you watch Pornhub?
It was Scarlett Johansson.
No.
It
was the PTSD meeting. Do you remember that?
Yes.
The PTSD meeting.
Right.
Now,
do
you think because the Falcon has PTSD from Afghanistan, losing his wingman, and that's one of the number one reasons. Do you think Captain America is as great when you think about it in the terms of what PTSD does to a person, where Sam Wilson could just be seeking another adrenaline, another push to kind of hide the fact that he has to now slow down to a civilian life, because he says he hates his civilian life now. You remember? He's like, I hate the pencil pushing on.
The same thing that goes on with Captain America. He can't relax.
I don't think that's a glorious thing to talk about.
In Avengers when he was beating up a boxing bag because he didn't want to relax. He didn't want to take that break because all he knows is war. That's his only memory. And he enables it.
And that's like one of the big reasons why the Sokovia Accords is such a big point of contention, is because it's like, well, Cap, you do kind of go out looking for these things. And he does. I mean, you can see that throughout Steve Rogers' personality. He looks for those fights.
He wants battle because I'm guessing at the end of when he comes out of the ice, his kid from Brooklyn comes back.
But is it as heroic as you think when you think about him enabling Falcon and his legitimate mental illness with suffering with PTSD and saying, well, hey, we got this group that just does fighting. That's all we do. We're called the Avengers. I mean, think about what the word Avengers means.
Yeah, but he didn't get here.
When you have a different aspect of the fact that Captain America grew up in a different kind of era, and he can actually somewhat deal with the PTSD that he has through boxing or trying to find another fight.
All he knew was war. He died in war or frozen war. He grew up in war. All of his buddies went to war. All he's ever known is war.
So it becomes like a kind of comfort blanket for him.
Yeah.
The reason why Captain America is the way he is the fact that he grew up in a different generation.
Yes, but that generation wasn't as healthy as we romanticize it to be.
It wasn't healthy, but I'm just saying, like, mentally.
Because what Captain America's doing with PTSD and what Sam Wilson's doing with PTSD after he meets Captain America or Steve Rogers is they're burying it by enabling more action to be put on top of it. It would be like if I'm saying, well, I don't like the idea of quitting smoking because of the way it makes me feel, so I'm going to continue smoking in order not to feel that pain that's right now, as opposed to the pain later on when I develop lung cancer or mouth cancer or colon cancer. And so it's almost like they're putting it off for the now. And this has been proven through PTSD studies, where most people will be adrenaline junkies that suffer with PTSD and a lot of traumatic incidences. And the effects of what PTSD does to a person is it rewires their entire brain to what they're expecting from life is not being met. So they're having this dissonance happening within their minds. I just don't see it as heroic that Captain America enables Sam Wilson after they met at a PTSD meeting. Like, this meeting was to help move past the ideas of war, the problems of war. And Captain America's like, hey, come and fight with us. Like, we ignore our problems. And you see that reigning throughout the MCU. You see Tony Stark dealing with his PTSD after the Avengers in New York and Loki's army.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Black Widow suffering with her PTSD. You see Hulk every time he comes back down from being the Hulk. He has PTSD. Everyone has it, except for Hawkeye. And I think it's because Hawkeye doesn't give in to the idea that he has to seek adventure. Each time Hawkeye's called, it's like, I'm here. Like, I'll do it.
Hawkeye's point might also be because he has children. He has a family. Hawkeye's trying to... no, we'll forget Hawkeye for now. So going back
Hawkeye's
to...
great. Don't forget him.
Captain America's
#PTSD.
PTSD, I don't feel like that takes away from his heroism by any means. Because he doesn't want to face his PTSD or face the problems. Because, honestly, I don't think Captain America has the type of PTSD that those in the Avengers that were born nowadays are.
Why not?
Like
he
Tony
is from...
Stark.
He saw Bucky die.
But he is
That's
from...
one of the most traumatic events a person can go through.
But that doesn't take away from what he does. He kept fighting. He kept pushing. He was born, like we just said earlier, from an age of war. All he's known is battle. That Captain America knows what he's done.
Yeah.
And he understands it. You can't... it's the same way you try to look at other faiths and cultures. You look at all these other cultures and you're like, oh, I can never do that. Well, we can't relate to Captain America because we weren't born and raised in a wartime. Or, the other people, their PTSD hit them so hard because they weren't born into war. They didn't have the same drive for war. They found themselves in it. Tony Stark was a businessman and found himself having to fight to get out of that. In Iron Man.
But it was all based on amends, trying to make things fix. After he saw that first Stark Industry bomb land next to him in Iron Man, he was like, I need to fix this.
Yeah, his was
Captain America was America was like, well, I'm gonna break it because it needs to be broken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean there's a big fundamental difference, which I'm really excited for the future talks, because I have been a staunch Captain America supporter.
I can't wait to see Tony Stark's talk.
I love what Captain America stands for. I love what he does, but
like, what makes him so great? He kept pushing. He kept pushing for something that was so much greater than himself, trying to break barriers, and even though he was limited to his own kind of illnesses that he had.
I'm not gonna lie.
He straight up said God doesn't wear that, talking about Thor. I mean...
I'm not gonna lie. When you started talking, it was very inspirational what you said, but all I pictured was the hot dog eating contest. Like a guy preparing for it
From Beer Fest.
But it's just like he's preparing to eat a hot dog contest, and it's just like, it doesn't matter what's behind me or what's inside me. All that matters is what's before me and what I can do.
That's pretty much Captain America, though.
Yeah, that's basically Captain America.
Steve
Why don't we ever
Rogers...
see Captain America eat? How much is that bitch pushing in calorie
He probably
intake?
can put a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they should have at least had some comedy in it. And
He even said that he can't get drunk because of his metabolism.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how much...
that guy's got to be eating constantly.
I mean, you go to
Anyways,
The Flash.
we gotta wrap it up.
So going back to our talk about the icon and the complete symbol that represents represents the shield that Captain America dons in the first Avenger. It represents who he is and how Steve Rogers becomes Captain America, and that's why no matter where Steve Rogers goes, Captain America has become a symbol of hope and pride in standing up for those that can't. Because Steve Rogers went from, I know that those people in the audience don't want to stand up for themselves, so I have to be the bigger man, to the only hands that we can trust are our own. And he brought Sam Wilson with him and Bucky with him in the end. And even when Tony Stark was like, hey, that shield's not yours, he drops it because he's like, I know what I've done. I know who Captain America is.
He's bigger than that.
Captain America is way bigger than just the shield. The shield just shows, I know what it means to be Captain America. So when he dropped it at the end of Civil War, Steve Rogers realized, I know what I stand for and I know what I am. I don't have to prove it to anybody in the end.
He better not kiss another woman, because you know Sharon is gonna come and whoop his ass.
He doesn't have a shield, so
She will shoot him.
his ass.
the new Agent Carter will come back and just destroy everything.
Which will be really funny if he's like making out with Queen Marjorie's character.
Oh, dude, it'd be...
But she's super old now.
That's not funny at all.
She'll probably have a fucking silencer on that bitch.
Wait, is this Sharon or Shannon?
I think it's Shannon.
Sharon. Shannon.
Who cares?
Bye.